Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. And today, as you can see, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon by talking about Disney related stuff. So, I guess for the time being, I don't have a whole lot of Star Wars stuff to talk about really for right now, as they haven't really announced what movie they're going to produce next. But, um, but yeah, I guess it's going to be a rather controversial opinion. Well, then again, like that stopped me before. So yeah, Star Wars The Force Awakens was not that bad. Which, yes, I've mentioned this before, but I'm just going to say it again. And I did make a video on videos like this, you can say similar to this manner. But yeah, there was plenty of hype surrounding this movie. Because, I guess you can say it's been a good while since the Star Wars film had been released over the years. So yeah, this did get a lot of coverage when you think about it.
The cut, and this was months ago, and we showed the first cut, which was still incomplete, but
Right.
a complete version of the movie, but not the finished version.
Right.
And we showed it to Alan Horn and Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, the three people at Disney who sat with me in the theater, and we screened the movie, and it was horrifying.
Terrible experience because you're nervous.
I'm nervous beyond words. I'm showing this movie that I know is so far from finished. There's not an effect in it, so
Isn't that dangerous to say to
there's no
someone?
effect
Isn't it
even.
dangerous to
Wow.
say to somebody,
yeah.
use your imagination
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
That's not a good way to show a film.
because you have no idea what their imagination is showing them.
That's right.
You have
but,
no idea.
But they demanded to see it at that
Well,
point?
not they demanded. It was first of all, they spent $4 billion.
their right.
They can see whatever the hell they want to. But this was really about showing them where we were, and then being able to say, look, these sequences, we're changing this, we're changing that, and it was a lot of me giving excuses before the screen.
So what happens after you show it to them? Now you're reading their faces, right? You're paranoid. You show that to them. They've seen an unfinished work, which is like showing somebody a painting when it's halfway done.
Yes.
They've seen this unfinished work. You know they can't use their imagination. Are you reading their faces and saying, do they look happy? I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, and look, not only reading their faces, I'm reading their body language while they're watching it.
Right.
I'm seeing when someone's laughing or smiling. I was sitting behind them. But the truth is, I had more notes than they did. I was writing that I filled a whole pad of stuff that I knew was a disaster and needed to be changed. And they wrote down here and there, and I couldn't tell if they were, miserable or, in ecstasy. I couldn't tell what they're.
What'd they say afterwards? Did they say?
It was the biggest relief of my life. And then,
Right.
of course, I left, and all I could think was, kind of what do they know? They spent $4 billion. They have to love it.
Right.
It's like I'm so critical on it.
Right.
Their response was so kind. I'm like, they're just being nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. No matter how many big movies you make, no matter how much money they make, it doesn't matter. The next movie, you got to prove yourself all over again.
And I don't know how you feel, but I always find it gets harder.
Yes.
Like, for whatever reason, every time I start to work on a script or to direct something, I always find it is more difficult somehow because you can't do that thing you just did.
Right.
And so, I know I've done other stuff. I just don't know how, and I can't understand why it's harder the next time, always.
Yes, I do realize that this film did receive a lot of controversy, and yeah, which just seems weird to me. I mean, granted, this film is aimed for the fan base, which yeah, I get that. So don't be thinking I'm totally being dismissal towards the fans who are upset about this kind of thing. But come on, give me a break here. Just because Disney bought the rights for these films doesn't mean that the movies themselves are going to be terrible. Yeah, people went as far to say that this movie, Star Wars Force Awakens, ruined their childhood. I mean, really? It sounds like you don't really have much of a life, do you? And one common complaint I keep hearing when it comes to this film, a lot of people seem to think that this movie is far too similar to the original trilogy, specifically the Star Wars A New Hope. Which, okay, yes, there's plenty of similarities to it, and The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker, yeah, all three of them are come off very similar to the original trilogy. Yeah, I'll say that, sure. But a lot of people just use that as a way to go against this movie and the other movies. But I'll just stay with this one. specifically, because the thing is that after watching the previous one that they released, Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith is definitely, without a doubt, one of the worst sci-fi films I've ever seen. Yet it received a lot of praise, which I don't understand why. It's just as bad as the previous two ports, if not maybe slightly a bit worse. Because it carries the same problems as the previous two. Yet, but people seem to enjoy it, saying that it's the best one of the three when it comes to the trilogy, the prequel trilogy to be more exact. But I don't get that. If anything, it made me not want to watch Star Wars anymore. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, if anything, it was it was really boring. And I'm still scratching my head to this very day. Does this movie have a plot? I mean, okay, a paper thin plot has been stretched over for 2 hours. So if anything, is barely anything to grasp onto. If anything, ugh. I didn't like this one either, folks. At all. I know they made books based around this as well to explain certain aspects of the story. I don't care. I really don't. No. No. But they also, of course, followed that up with Star Wars Attack of the Clones, which was also pretty bad. Yeah, there's barely a plot to speak of, if anything. It just comes off there's lots of action sequences that's been stringed together for some reason. Yeah, it looks like George Lucas didn't care, like, at all, whatsoever. And yeah, just a bunch of CGI fest, which is one of the major problems I have with modern cinema nowadays. Overly focusing on the CGI, and that's it. And yes, before anyone says anything, I still remember the one animated garbage that was supposed to take place in between episode 2 and 3. And it's still garbage. Still garbage. No. If anything, folks, these movies, especially Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, maybe not want to watch Star Wars anymore. If this movie is so horrendous, it just put me turning me off for Star Wars. At the time, I thought, okay, I'm done. I'm done forever. I'm good. No, I'm good. So when they announced the new one coming out, I didn't feel like it no more. And I felt that I just lost my faith in the series. I thought it was just done for. I thought this one was just gonna the Star Wars The Force Awakens was going to be nothing more than a cash grab. I mean, okay, to be fair, a lot of movies are nowadays. Uh, to be bluntly honest here, folks. And which in itself doesn't necessarily have to be, a bad thing, but in this case, in a lot of cases, I should say, it can be a bad thing because if money's the only thing you care about when it comes to making money, then you maybe shouldn't be doing this, like, at all. When it comes to making films, it should spark a certain creativity, certain type of inspiration, of course, which it should. But unfortunately, George Lucas lost his touch when it comes to making movies because he was supposed to be a rebel. Way back when he first made the original Star Wars trilogy. But of course, I only watched the new film Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Since someone bought me the tickets to see the movie, so in that regard, I felt I was obligated to watch it, folks. So yeah, but as I was saying a moment ago, yeah, the old films are fantastic in their own individual way, and they help to modernize the film industry when it comes to special effects, when it comes to storytelling, and yeah, the original trilogy did a lot of things great. And I'm not trying to take that away from those films, like, at all. So it was a revolutionary in a lot of ways. So that's great. That's wonderful. Even though the fan base basically take these movies as if they were the second coming of Jesus. Like, come on now, just Jesus Christ Almighty. Oh. Anyway, but yeah, like I was saying, in some ways, I was thankful to see this film, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, because it came out a lot better than I was expecting it to be. So my expectations was practically not existent when I saw this film when it was originally came out. When you think about it, yeah, I was like because like I said, I was pretty much done. I was done. But but yeah, I mean, does it fix the franchise completely? Maybe no, I won't say that. But it did show that these films can be good again. These films can be enjoyable. They can have this grand adventure. And so yeah, I really felt that these films were enjoyable. Even though, again, like I was saying way earlier, a lot of fans will complain about the fact that they came off way too similar to the original films. This one and the other two. Um, I mean, okay. They didn't complain about the fact that the source material, the canon, the Star Wars expanded universe, was extremely similar to the original trilogy. Nobody complained about it then, but now that Disney bought the rights for these films, now suddenly complain. I don't get it. That makes no sense to me, like at all. Yeah, but anyway, I was saying a moment ago is that Star Wars: The Force Awakens is still a pretty enjoyable film to watch. I mean, does it have its flaws? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it has its faults. I'm not going to deny that. But I still liked it. It's by no means perfect, but I still liked it a lot more than what they did previously. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. So there's that. I realized that they did make quite a few of these animated shows for for this kind of a thing, for this film series, but again, I didn't like none of them, like at all. I thought they were pretty bland and boring in a lot of ways, and maybe a little too goofy for my liking as well. But just no. Before anyone tells me, okay, I know. Before anyone says anything, I know. They're trying to use this as a way to explain certain aspects of the overall expanded universe that Star Wars has been building upon for years. I get that. They're trying to use that TV shows, the show format, as a way to go further into certain things that the movies couldn't. I get that. That's why I'm all for that. And contrary to popular belief, Disney is actually adding to what's already been there. I just find quite odd that a lot of fans seem to think that Disney just basically pressed the reboot button on the entire lore. If it's not that, they believe that they just ruined everything, which is another really bold claim because in both cases that's not the case. And a lot of people viewed that the Star Wars Force Awakens is nothing more than a remake of the original one, which no, it's not. It's not. There's some stuff similar to it, some similarities, sure, but just to go on and just go ahead and just say that this is like from top to bottom, from scratch, a complete remake of the original, which it isn't. But but yeah, it seems confusing to me, folks, that this film got so much heat from the toxic fans. Really, that doesn't make any sense at all. I'm not gonna cover every little thing, folks, like every complaint, obviously, because this video will be a lot longer than what it is. And this video discussing this film is pretty lengthy as it is and whatnot. I do like the story. This really feels like a Star Wars film as a whole. It really feels like a complete story that's going to set up for even more. Obviously, that's the thing with Star Wars. You always want to lead, I guess, set up for more, which they will eventually will, of course. And I believe that this film does that rather well, trying to have its own story going on, and while at the same time building up for the rest of the series, which it does. It's not going to tell you everything right away, of course. There's quite a bit of Ray's past that's left as a mystery, which I'm fine with. I mean, of course, that whole bit just does lead up for the third installment for the franchise, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. So yeah, it's nowhere near as terrible as it is, as they claim it to be. I don't know if this is coming off more me just defending the film again. And which in some ways, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm really tired of doing, because I'm just keep coming across the same complaints over and over. It's repeated. The fact is apparently it's a reboot. The fact that the character raised Mary Sue, which is not the case, because she does make some mistakes in the film and in the following films as well. They also a lot of people complain that there's no soul. This is corporate greed or whatever. It's a soulless cash grab and whatnot, which of course, again, that's not the case and whatnot. Star Wars was already ruined by George Lucas. As mentioned before, I didn't want to see these films anymore. I was practically done with these films. Like, I'm never again. But, thankfully I did give this film a chance, because I ended up enjoying it for what it's worth. I mean, granted, I was never a fan of these films to begin with, if I'm going to be honest here. But, for what it's worth, I didn't hate it. No, I didn't hate this movie, really, like, at all. But, the characters didn't bother me. The characters were, I liked what they were trying to aim for and whatnot. And so, yeah, it was a really wild ride, I guess you can say. A pretty crazy, intense movie in its own little way. I'll definitely give it that, that's for sure. And that's fine. They can try to make it interesting and whatnot. So, yeah. And yeah, I'll definitely say that I'd much rather watch this one movie alone over any of the other stuff like the animated shows. Ugh. No. No. Absolutely not. So when it comes to these films, they just act like it's some big disaster of a film, and because they just believe that it's a portrayal. They felt like the Disney Corporation was nothing more than a traitor when it comes to this movie. So they pretty much envisioned this like the beginning of the end, so to speak, while others were just giving these films the benefit of doubt and whatnot. But yeah, I didn't mind it. I really didn't mind it. So yeah, if you're I guess one of those few people that didn't see this for whatever reason, I'll say check it out. Just ignore the toxic fan base and just give this film a chance with your own mind and whatnot. And yeah, I can say that this definitely was it was worth. So he has his own charm to it. He has his own atmosphere to it and whatnot. So it's definitely something I wouldn't mind watching again. We have the time for it, I guess. Because this movie's pretty long. Well, all the Star Wars movies are long, actually. So yeah, if you do have the time for it, I'd definitely say give this a chance. All right, I better wrap things up already, folks. But I know there's still plenty to be said about these movies. There's still plenty to be said about Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Which, yes, I realized, like I said earlier, I was not going to be able to cover every little thing, because, like I said, this would be much longer than what it already is. So I do appreciate anybody for watching this. So whoever you are, you've actually made it this long into the video. I appreciate it. So, thanks. I really do appreciate these views, of course. But yeah, I guess in some ways it does give me an excuse to talk about these franchise again in some sort of way, because I'm not sure when they're going to be making another movie and whatnot for the time being. I mean, I could talk about the TV shows they made, the animated stuff, I mean, but I don't know. I don't know if I would feel like it, really. Not making promises, maybe, or maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, I'm not really, I know I've said this already, but like a bunch of times as it is, I'm not really a TV show watching kind of a person, really. I don't like watching TV shows. That's not to say I didn't do it before, because I have watched TV shows before. I prefer watching movies over watching shows, really. Because when it comes to TV shows, after a while, it's just going to come off like a chore. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and take care. Till next time. See you.